pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call. John Hotchkiss here.
Joe Bailey here.
John Mullen is excused. Okay? All right, first item. Minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting dated July 23rd, which I've read already, so.
Yeah, I've reviewed them, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from July 23rd, 2018 as written.
I will second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You had to have anybody opposed to go say aye, aye. All right, next. CEO, Chief Executive Officer. No, that's not quite right.
Code enforcement.
Oh, code enforcement, that's right. We're down here, we're not. Okay. Fill us in on code enforcement, please.
So, John Mullen's out on medical.
Without getting into the details, how long is he out for?
He could be out for a couple more weeks.
Okay.
He's already been out a week, so we have inspections that need to be done. So,
And that's mostly everything but electrical, correct?
right, so like if somebody's putting in a new foundation, it needs to be inspected and so forth. And like building permits need to be written,
Right.
so I've written a couple, but I mean, I'm not really.
You're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
You're,
I did finish what he had started,
okay.
so now with new ones, we need to really,
So,
get a temp in here.
knowing that John is going to be out for an undetermined amount of time, I have reached out to a former code enforcement officer who used to be here, Arthur Capello, and he has agreed to come back for a couple, 2-3 weeks until John gets back on his feet. And I talked with John Hotchkiss during the day to see if it's okay to reach out to Arthur, because I was right down the area anyhow, and Arthur's willing to do so.
So we would hire him on a temporary basis. He would be well advised to just look through the
As needed.
zoning book as
Yeah.
needed to make sure everything is familiar to him.
Yeah.
I apologize for the interruption, but my daughter just informed me that they bought a house, so it was like, I was.
Pretty cool.
So,
John, can take one too?
So John Ramon's gonna be out for,
Several weeks now, so
It's
we're gonna,
under
we
check.
reached out to Arthur Capello to step in, and he's agreed to do so.
okay,
I'm agreeable to having him step in on a as needed fill-in basis until the loan is back up.
Okay, and just to be on the up and up so everybody knows, because it has, this may be a budgetary item
Yeah.
as well. $27 an hour plus mileage, that's what he gets for doing it, which is fair, I think, so. Yeah, so if we see that line goes over a little bit, we know why, okay?
That's fine.
get well cards stay in my home, have them sent here to the.
I would send him here, cause I haven't got his new address yet. Send him here, we'll put them together, and we'll just send it on. That's what I've been telling people.
We didn't send him flowers. I don't think he'd like that.
I went and visited in Barber Living, so we're good.
Send him an artichoke, he'd love that.
All right, under old business, before we do the one that's there, I have a question for you, Laura. This has come up a couple of times. There was a time when fire permits were done through you, last year. Now I'm encouraging people to do them online. Do you still do them here, or no?
Yeah, no, I can still do them here.
Okay.
I encourage them to do them online too.
Right. And someone said, well, it's free if you do it in through the fire department, which it is. But for $3, you can get it done at home without trying to track down someone that's
Right.
available. Okay, so I've been given the right information,
Yep.
good. All right, Old Town Hall update. You wanna go, or you wanna?
You're good, Stan, you're the last one to do something, so.
Okay. The sheet rock is in for all the walls, including what I call the new wall, so there's a back room, and there's a back storage area, okay? Those walls have been mudded, sanded, and so forth. Saturday, John Lamone and I were in there painting.
John Mullins.
John Mullen, I'm sorry, John Mullen, too many Johns here. I did did the entire kitchen area, he did the ceiling, and I think after I left, he went back and did the finish coat on the kitchen. And I'm pleased to announce that just as the White House has a blue room, our town hall has a blue room as well. So we are right up there with Washington. Good. Apparently somebody had a gallon of paint, blue paint left over, and instead of buying more, he used it. Good for him. Today, the floors, the finished floor of the back storage room and the little tiny back room are done. We decided to simply put plywood down, and it will be coated with the same finish that goes on the regular floor, okay? Tomorrow, the regular floor goes in. It's a southern pine, some people call it yellow pine. The boards will be 4 inches wide. It'll closely match the floor out in the main room. The main room is made out of either oak or maple. This is pine, but there's not a lot of wear and tear in the kitchen. I've used this stuff in my own house for years, and there's no signs of wear. I believe Snooky Shea is going to, once it's installed by Doug Gregory, it will be sanded, put some type of finish on it. I think he likes to use glass and glass. Then in go the cabinets. It's much easier to lay that floor without the cabinets there. Alright? Once the cabinets start going in, you've got some plumbing to do. This door to the back room and the door to the little back storage area, they've been ordered. 2 windows are gonna be replaced in the kitchen itself, same size, same look, but more energy efficient. So those have been ordered and will be coming in. After the cabinets, the floor is done, not the main floor, that's gonna stay as is for now, because there's still too much stuff on it to clear that up. But we're trying to get this ready to be used for August 22nd. Cabinets go in with Doug Gregory. We're gonna order the countertops. You're gonna hook up the
Sinks and stuff.
sinks and
drains.
the stove will go back in.
Yep.
Alright.
Yeah.
Wonder of all wonders, there will be a new fan for the stove. I don't know if you've ever worked there, but the old one's about this big. Alright, the new one's this big. Except the difference is the new one has a, I think it's called the guard, so you can't put your hand into it. The one that was there, there's no guard. You turn it on, you look right outside and see the blades turn it around. So I think we've updated that a bit. Alright?
Yeah, then on top of the hood of the stove, the hood that's over, we have them in there, these came in today, is those heavy duty lights. We'll have a light switch so you can put it over the stove, looking like that. We also have the fixtures come in.
You burn something.
Yeah, might just depend on smelling it. So then we have the, I don't know if the one has come in for the scissors to be able, for the pot filler.
No, hasn't yet.
Okay, but that's next one coming in. And we have the 2 wands coming up that are flexible, okay, for the regular sinks. So those are in. So that'll be,
How long does the floor have to set before he wants anybody on it?
He usually puts 3 coats on. It's usually a day in between coats.
Oh, okay,
No,
cause I'm
last-
just thinking how quick the floor is in
Right.
between the August 22nd.
Right?
I know. I'm thinking about it too, so I'm pretty busy, but I'm gonna have to make a day to do it, so
Well,
I'll
no,
get it
I'm
done.
just thinking cause you want the floor to cure as long as, without any type of traffic on it,
Right.
so that's why, and I don't know if it
Yeah.
takes longer because of the humidity too, so.
I think you're gonna talk with Snooky, and you know why his name is Snooky?
I don't know, they've always called him that, he's been called that ever since I remember.
What's his real name?
I don't know his real name, my father would have known it. My mother
Carol.
probably- Yes, it is, that's right, Carol
Does it
Shea.
name like Carol? They changed it to Snooky. I think I can see why. Maybe he'll put 1 coat down
Yeah,
to protect the wood, and then let us get it.
maybe,
We'll
yeah.
see. Okay. But that's, as floors go, that's a pretty small floor.
When they did our floors, they were only oil rubbed and we couldn't go on them for at least 24 hours.
Yeah. Yes, we're still mindful of the deadline of trying to have it in there for August 22nd. But wait, there's more. You've been busy.
AC.
Oh,
AC is working now too.
Yeah.
That's big.
You've really been busy. What are these things?
Tammy online found, just to let everybody know, we have purchased, last week, Mullins and I went over to Sam's Club, cause they had chairs over there, similar to these ones here, for $22 a piece. So we got 45 chairs, okay? We bought, 10 8-foot black tables, of the plastic heavy commercial ones, and 5 and 6 footers.
Like, but it's plastic like this, not the old
So,
plywood.
right, so all the old wooden chairs are gone. We're not gonna use the metal ones, we don't have to, only have to, we didn't wanna spend a whole, no. I wanted like 90 chairs, but they didn't have enough anyhow, so we got us. But, the wooden chairs are gone, all the old wooden tables, I guess, are out of there. There's a few of them they're using for workbenches, those are gonna be gone pretty quick here. We have all new tables and stuff.
You can talk about saving some of those old tables for outside events for whatever.
No, we don't want them in there because all the people, what's gonna happen is with this store, they're gonna be dropped and dragged across those floors when they're done, and get rid of them, you know? So, Tammy went online and she saw these chairs, 25 of them, and 4 tables, 6-foot tables, $200. They're $22 a piece. 25 of them is quite a bit of money. You know, we went over, this weekend with my trailer, we picked them up, and bought them for $200. So, I don't think that's a bad deal enough. All this mixed match of orange and yellow is gone, obviously. It's nicer looking. I think, like Laura said, they stack better. Yeah, they don't stack on top of each other, but they stack better and take less room up, so much easier. Probably pretty comfortable, aren't they?
And we'll see what if I look like a waffle when I.
Well, the biggest thing is like these ones here, like that, they're
They're
cool.
spongy.
They're not, you don't sweat in them and stuff like that. And John Mullins tried the hard-backed ones that, similar to this, but they're all solid, whatever, and he didn't like them at all. He's like, these are much more comfortable, so, you know.
Well, the ones at the town hall, exactly like this?
Yeah, other than they're all one color, other than silver and black.
Yeah, but are they waffle?
Yes.
I personally am gonna miss not seeing Tony
Pick up.
politely back there saying, no, that chair goes in this pile, no, that one goes over here.
It won't stack, right?
He's the only one that knew how to stack them. Alright.
No. But I think, no.
We'll have to find something else for him to do.
So John Mullen has produced a punch list on what needs to be finished there. He is out of town on vacation. Joe has offered to step in and be the liaison between the carpenter, the electrician, and whoever else.
These get things
Probably
done.
Middleton building, get the countertops.
Yeah.
Alright?
Yep.
And you're involved in giving of your own time to get the plumbing done and the gas hooked up, so.
Yep.
Things are going
Yeah,
well.
the gas hookup on the stove, they had this big rig that they are coming out and elbowing down to the gas line. You can never get that stove tight enough to the wall, you always have this big gap. So, I just reconfigured things like that, so now I can probably get about 2 or 3 inches closer to the wall to make it look better. So, and I recommend that, and I'll try to pick them up, it's this little disc that you put underneath the legs. So you put those underneath, we get it back in place, like that, so it won't be all those, won't be on that new floor and put dents in it and stuff like that, it's pretty heavy, and that one dispersed that weight a little bit, so. they-
Please
pennies.
remember, when you finally move that stove, you need the dollies back
Mhm.
at John's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mullins and I moved that, you know, pretty much
Right.
ourselves, so, not too bad.
Alright. Yes, the outside needs to be painted, I'm not guaranteeing that'll be painted before August 22nd, but it does need to be painted. There's also landscaping needs to be done, I don't know whether the paving will be done, but it was a non-lapsing warrant article, so if it's not done this summer, we still have the money to do it next summer. We need a handicap ramp, it's gonna go in the back, and it's been suggested that we put the pavement in first, and then put the ramp on top of it, okay? Anytime you see trucks there, you're welcome to stop in and look around. Very much quality work. John Mullen is quite pleased with the electrician, the carpenter, I think we're doing this one right.
I'm sure the town, without knowing it, appreciates you jumping
Yeah,
in and your time.
yeah,
I'm sure.
thank you.
I'm trying to give you credit in the newspaper, but
No.
I called the.
Not doing it look for credit, just doing it, get the
Yeah,
job
no,
done and
no,
get
no.
using
It's
it.
just the whole town.
I
can-
really miss doing my harvest dinners over there.
Yeah. I called the newspaper and asked about circulation, and I'm told there are 7 or 8 subscribers to the paper that live in Middleton, so I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody's even reading it.
Yeah.
I am, I'm one of them.
Okay.
Good.
On the other ones.
There's 2.
Um, so, look, if I may on that old business, Laura's been spearheading with that new computer people, we got rid of, Armand, okay? And we had some new people come in and give us some estimates on reconfiguring our system. And unfortunately for us, Armand, when they first came in, I think they were misinformed by certain people who worked here at the time, what our needs were. And they did accommodate the needs at the time, but we were not getting our value for what we were paying, okay? This new company come in and prior to doing anything, right up front, this is what you need to have, this is what it's gonna cost. And we entered into an agreement with them. And last week and this week, they have been working on making those changes. So everything I think has been done with the exception of the PD downstairs.
Yes.
Everything is, had a few glitches last Monday when they first came in. They were right here, took care of all their issues, whatever, and we haven't had any issues since then, other than the phones are tied into the computer, so they're working on, the system we have now is so fast,
The new computer is
the
too
new computer system is
powerful,
so fast and so powerful that the phones can't keep up with it, so we're losing calls.
cause they're running off the same network.
Okay, so they're working on a fix on that, so, today it was pretty much no problem whatsoever, did you?
No, only I think once it's late this afternoon, so they are working on
So
changing things.
You need to go back to old equipment that runs slow.
Yeah. That's kinda like using my smartphone, that's like using my smartphone and your
Right,
phone.
right.
But they put a new switch in Kathy's office, and literally the switch was too good for the computers in there, and they had to put the old one back. Cause it kept dropping her, yeah.
So, I mean, that's, other
We're
than
working
small
on it.
things like that, whatever, we are pretty much up to speed again. So, the last thing we gotta do upstairs here is the police department has a computer downstairs, a desktop, that's going to be tweaked around like that and updated for John to use up here in the selectman's office. So, I have a laptop in there that was already here. We took Mullins's computer, upgraded that one. He's gonna get an upgraded one from downstairs, so we're reusing town stuff that's already purchased. And the best part about it is, when you go in and log into it, all 3 of us will see the same exact thing. We have folders in there that are shared folders, so if we're, say, going through the ordinances, we can go up there, look at the ordinance number 1. If we have a problem, we don't understand something, we also have the RSA already on there that we can just boom, look at, start looking on the book, or going on the website. Everything's gonna be right there at our fingertips, we can all work at the same time on the same thing, so it's pretty cool. So, yeah, like to be a little bit more efficient when we're doing stuff. We can put the budget on there, the budget, all that stuff, yeah.
Anything we drop in that folder, like everybody in this building can see. It's pretty neat, we've been utilizing it quite a bit already.
So,
This has been replaced, this computer's a newer one, it's not new, but we've been reusing the ones that we're replacing as they go.
if they're available to be upgraded, we're taking care of doing it, so they're fairly fast, we don't want old stuff that's just still be bogged down like that, so, kinda foolish to do that.
Is there at some point in time when people at their homes can access some information
I'm
about?
gonna be able to access everything from home.
I'm talking about, say
The
that
last we see of Laura, she'll be in the
I'm
house.
preparing for the future.
Working from
I
home.
know the tax kiosk can get all that information, but about tax cards, is that ever gonna be?
Actually, I've asked about that. One's gonna look into the price, cause it's an added thing from Avatar, cause other towns that use Avatar do have that ability. And I just updated all our, tax maps today online, so I get that electronic.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about it? Good. New business, a resident complaint.
I got this in the mail.
How's that new?
It's new that it's in writing and not on the phone. I don't know.
Oh, shoot.
Okay. this is one page, single space. I can tell you the name is Donald Perkins, 63 Drew Drive, Middleton. Here we go. Dear Town Selectman and Chief of Police. I've been living in the town of Middleton roughly since 2005. I bought 6.2 acres at 63 Drew Drive for about $62,000 and cleared the land myself to build my dream home. I hired a local resident to build my house for $188,000, which helped contribute to the town economy. I always pay my taxes, which the rates are above average, but I do understand the town wanted to build a new school. I have no use for a new school, considering I have no children, and never will, which is a benefit to the town, but I do understand it was needed. The reason I'm writing this letter is to let you know what my family, myself, and the neighborhood have had to endure over the years living next door to Brooks and Lisa Patrick. Okay, so Brooks must be the first name.
Yeah.
Okay. The first few years they moved in, they had at least 4 snowmobiles, 4 four-wheelers, and a dirt bike, which they would continually drive around in circles in their backyard. You must understand that I have no problem with recreational vehicles or people having fun, but they would do it for days and days to the point at which I couldn't hold a conversation on my back deck. Our lots are roughly 200 feet wide. They then proceeded to set up a firing range in the backyard and would spend hours upon hours shooting off guns to the point of annoyance. I understand we live in the woods and people are going to shoot off guns and hunt, which I have no problem with, but it's the amount of hours they were continually doing it that became the annoyance. You have to be a certain distance away from buildings in order to shoot, at least in order to hunt. And then there were the fireworks. They have and continue to light off fireworks all day and randomly any time of the night they desire. They are not lighting them for their enjoyment, but to be a nuisance to the entire neighborhood. I have nothing against fireworks if people want to buy some and light them off, but they do it to the point of being an annoyance. I have 4 dogs, which my wife and I love, like they were our children. They are petrified of the loud, random explosions. I never know when I let them. I never know when I let them I never know when I let them if they are going to be subject to this.
Let them out.
I've endured Lisa verbally abusing her children by screaming profanity at them for hours at a time. Their children have been brought up in that hostile environment and now act and talk the same way the parents do, which I shouldn't have to listen to. The F word comes out of the parents' and children's mouth with every sentence they speak, which, embarrassingly, my family and my company have had to be subject to because they are so loud. I have watched kids play with matches, throw rocks at their dogs, and use BB guns unsupervised. They bought a camper which they destroyed and dragged out into their woods, like it was a junkyard. They bought another camper which they allowed someone to live in for months by providing water, electricity, and cable. That camper then got destroyed, and now they have another camper in front of the house which I believe someone is living in. All the property on Drew Drive is governed by covenants that protect against this. I might mention the covenants are resolved by associations and individuals, not the town. It's part of the deed. Their yard has so much trash and junk that it looks like I'm living next to a dump. The old saying that trash runs downhill is true because it continually ends up in my yard. Now they are continually running a generator because they fail to pay their electric bill. It has become such an annoyance that I can't open my windows because the constant noise is driving me crazy. I understand generators are a good tool for power outages, among other things, but to listen to it for weeks at a time when I'm trying to relax or sleep is something I shouldn't have to be subject to. I don't know what to do about my situation anymore. It has affected my relationship with my wife because of the stress this has been causing over the years. I feel the town should do something about these people and give all the residents that live around Brooks and Lisa Patrick a large tax rate for having to endure living in this situation. Regrettably, Donald Perkins, 63 Drew Drive, you know, and
Didn't we just enact an ordinance regarding nuisance neighbors?
yes.
Well, it's the disorderly neighbor. So honestly, being a liaison with the police department, chief and I have talked about this, and prior to this notice coming in the mail, the chief has already furnished them with one of those letters.
Just name them, Brooks and Lisa
Patrick, yes.
Okay.
So they have been on the receiving end of one of those letters. So the next step is to keep going back, and then they're gonna start getting fined on it. At that point, they're gonna come to us and say, if we don't wanna pay the fine, what can we do? Well, now this is in our ball court. It's in our ball court, they said, no, you're paying the fine because it doesn't seem like you're not, whatever, okay? So,
Without getting into all the particulars, is it safe to say that Chief Blodgett is aware of this address?
absolutely.
Okay.
So John, you had mentioned that, this covenant, so there must be an association up there?
Apparently.
Well, no, but I'm just, so there isn't an association.
But I never heard there'd been an association up there.
Maybe
but-
they might
Maybe
wanna get
covenants
one.
on the
Right.
deeds, you'd have to look at the deeds to see if there's something in
Yeah.
that.
And if there is, any covenants are enforceable only by an association or by a neighbor, an individual who wishes to
Right,
take you to court.
right.
The town does not enforce covenants.
No, my question
Right.
was,
Yeah,
you know,
is
I
there
mean, if
one?
that's,
Right.
is there an association?
Is the road plowed,
Drew should be plowed.
our town?
Oh, yeah, that's a paved road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drew is-
So it is a town road.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you come into my place, you know over the hill there, but the guy sells the equipment and stuff like that. Drew is the next road on your right before you come around corner to Silver Street. So that's Drew, goes right on to the
It's the
Pheasant
road right
Partridge.
before you, if you went to go straight on Line Hill or New Durham Road, it's that road right before it.
Yeah.
So, just to
It
say,
might, it might be something that Mr. Perkins is not aware of, is that the town has a process. And inform him of what the process is that's being done,
it's already been done.
might alleviate some of his
Concerns.
nervousness.
It may not stop the problem, but at least he knows the police department's involved in it, so.
So can you do anything where they've had like where they have no power in using generators? I don't know.
I think the only thing we have to be mindful of, and it's a code enforcement thing, is the people living in the trailer in the front.
Right,
There's nothing that says you can't do it for like a week or two, but permanent living conditions,
Right.
it's a different story,
correct.
so.
The only thing we can do about the power is, report to DCYF if there's kids, otherwise you can live without power.
I didn't know, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
We
This
think of
letter-
John Jones and all those people
Right,
that have lived
right.
out there, you know.
This letter is not
Yeah.
dated.
Wow.
Any idea when we received it?
We just got it last week. I still have the envelope in my office that's stamped.
Alright.
So do we wanna respond to him and just say Chief Blodgett's working with it, or is, Logic and-
Yes, still him know that we read the letter, in my opinion, that we read the letter
I want
like
my
that,
letter back.
and that the police department has, was involved prior to us receiving the letter, so they know what's going on.
And
I think the only other thing we have to do is let code enforcement know they need to go up and check on that whole other situation.
in my letter, I'll explain some of the things that he has concerns about that we do
have
not
nothing to?
control. The covenants and how many snowmobiles you have, that's,
And the firing range in the backyard.
See, again, that's all under code enforcement, and that can be construed.
That would be-
I know hunting, you're supposed to, you can't shoot a weapon within 300 feet of an occupied dwelling.
right, so I wonder if that pertains to,
A lot of
Tiger
people,
practice.
there's a lot of people who have tiger ranges in this area behind their houses. So, if we do one, they all have to stop, so. Just to,
It might be something about the children using, I guess it's just BB guns, but it's still a firearm,
but the
unsupervised.
thing is, you be careful, that's him saying it, there's two sides to every story, so you don't
You
know.
need to be
Unless you
documented.
absolutely observe it going on, it's hard to say. But again, as long as the police are involved in it, we got the ACO now, just to let everybody know, I guess, off tangent a little bit, we do have ACO officer. They get the vehicles all set up for them, we got cagers, nets, all kinds of, she got a uniform, she carries a badge, okay? She has the authority to write tickets for animals and stuff like that, violations. So, The 21st, when we do the touch a truck safety night, she should be there, so, but,
And I, for one,
get them
would
all
like,
involved in it and make their life,
I'd like for one, personal opinion of mine is I would love to see a noise ordinance of some sort added to the town.
but that has to come up and be voted on by in the March thing, so somebody has to do a warrant, do a special petition, a warrant petition, and put it on the thing for a vote.
That could be something that's one of the town ordinances of, that's something to,
We certainly would be glad to talk with lawyers. It's my impression that it requires a town vote
Yes.
in order to get it.
Cause we don't have anything that could be construed as a
Noise
one,
ordinance, no,
I guess so.
there's nothing there. And it'd have to be, whatever time at night until whatever time in the morning, sort of thing, so.
One sentence here, I watched the kids play with matches, throw rocks at their dogs, and use BB guns unsupervised. I'll be glad in my letter to address that and suggest that you call the police so that the animal control officer can go out. But we all know that sometimes you start complaining too much and it just magnifies the problem. And it'd be throwing rocks at
As
that.
far as, someone having stuff in the yard, as long as, I know what I would consider a bunch of stuff on my, it is junk, looking like a junkyard, but it's a matter of
the
opinion.
only thing that's checked at your place is that driveway.
You should make much beating done that.
And that pile of rusty rocks.
Yeah, I got an awful lot of rusty rocks we had, so.
So, I think this is mine for action. We'll write a letter and show it to you. I don't know if John will be back, but I'll show it to you first so you have a sense of what I'm saying. And Chief Blodgett has talked with Brooke and Lisa Perkins. Has Chief Blodgett talked with Donald Perkins? I think his name's right.
It's Patrick. It's from Brooke Patrick, right?
Patrick, has,
No,
John
Parker.
has Chief Blodgett talked with Donald Perkins?
That I'm not sure.
I'll try to find out first, before I start
You
quoting.
get the letter same time we get the letter too. So.
Okay, okay.
I think he opened up before Laura did, so he told me about it first. And then I come upstairs and Laura tells me about it, so.
It would be interesting to know whether he has had contact once a week with the police, or not at all. Does he just reach the point where he's writing a letter? I'd like to know what else is going on and
Yeah.
how we can help. He has some valid concerns, some of which we can address, and some of which we can't. All right. Okay, that's all that's on my list, other than public participation. Anything else going on in the town that we need to know about?
Where's the situation now with the lot lines out in the Durham gravel pit? Still waiting for some word from,
Still waiting on Mr. Morgan. We've received nothing.
and many months ago, there was talk about somebody wanting to establish a new gravel pit in New Durham. Has that,
Yes.
that been deep sixed?
Yes, I've heard nothing more about it. The zoning board at New Durham said no. The owners of the land have yet to do anything about the no answer. Okay? Nothing going on. Okay? I think they've run past their time for an appeal. Right?
I would like to comment again, as we have so many times in the past about our superb highway department. The washouts in New Durham and New Portsmouth Road continue. And out last week or the week before, I forget when we had some good heavy rains, they were out there in the rain working and trying to stave off the pavement from being washed away.
We used to have the same problem on Dudley, particularly down at the very end where it was steep. And finally, Rick had the paving company pave the actual ditch. So now when the water runs down, it doesn't wash away. Is that something at some point they're doing.
They're gonna have to do something because it's, I mean, the washout was so bad, it actually undermining the pavement on the edges was
Right.
crumbling, disintegrating.
On a different note, besides serving as your selectman, I'm one of the commissioners on the Sunrise Lake Village District. Okay? Every year, those dam inspectors, no, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The inspectors of the dam come by and take a look. A couple of years ago, they said the dam, which by the way was just built at that point, rebuilt by the state, said, oh, this very far end, way down at the end, it's too low. Okay? So Joe and I took his altitude measurer,
Cell phone.
said, this corner of the dam down near one of the beaches is the same height as up there. They're worried that the water's gonna rise and run around the dam and spill in the back of the dam and erode all the, well, apparently the dam inspectors, those dam inspectors could not find a company called Hotchkiss and Bailey who did the inspection.
They should have done a Bailey and Hotchkiss. Probably would have found it.
So, the village district has received another letter of deficiency. This time we had to hire, we, the village district, not the town, the village district had to hire a certified surveyor. And I was out there helping him, in an effort to save money for the district. I was the flunky that held the stick up, and, you know, he measured and so forth. Joe was right. This corner cement that was put in by the state is exactly 1/10 of an inch lower than the spillway, okay? What is the problem is that when the state graded all of it, this dirt here is low, so we gotta put some dirt in, that's all. So make sure the water doesn't run around the side of the dam.
But I guess I'd say interestingly enough is the state's the one that did the work, and then the other person who comes in from the state says like,
Yep.
is the right hand not talking to the left hand?
That's right, you're absolutely correct.
Well,
Is that your first time you've discovered?
answered your own
No.
question, didn't you?
Yeah. But
Well,
it's,
I'm just saying, you know, and I would clearly have no problem calling up and
yeah.
and noting that.
I was worried that we'd have to somehow mold in more cement.
Right.
No. Where the cement ends, the land drops off 2 or 3 inches, so we're gonna build some sort of kind of U-shaped, maybe a foot high or something, and mold it in, plant grass seed on it, be all done, so. Nothing to do with the town, but just, that lake is an important resource for us.
It's amazing how accurate those phones are. Like, you know, the application, the apps you download, like that for longitude, latitude, and,
Right.
you know, altitude and all of it, it's like crazy.
Yeah. Joe was off by 1/10 of an inch.
Story of my life.
That's right. That's good
You
news.
miss it by just this much.
I'm not sure, I think you live on the lake, but I gotta tell you, it's August, the lake is full. In the springtime, you put the dasher boards in, which gives you another 2 feet of depth of water, okay? And in the spring runoff, it goes over the dasher boards, and then throughout the summer, it drops down to the point where it doesn't go over the dasher boards at all, it just sits there and slowly goes down as we have dry weather. Well, it's not doing that anymore. It's gone back up and it's going over in August. Okay? We had that much rain.
We need the rain though.
Yeah. So that's good. All right, that's all I have, folks. Anyone else have anything that's good for the town?
All of the books from the town lending room that we have for
All
the
right?
pseudo library. We're down to about the last box and a half or something like that. We have disposed of them at Goodwill, Salvation Army, a couple of other thrift stores.
All right.
They've all gone to some usable place other than those that were damaged with mold or torn
Right.
or.
Thank you for keeping track of that. That doesn't,
99% of them out of the landfills.
Good.
that does remind me that congratulations to John Mullen. I think Laura, you might have been involved in moving stuff, I don't know if you were. That trailer that we rented when we first started doing the town hall renovations, not the kitchen, town hall renovations, to the tune of $100 a month is gone. It's empty, it is gone.
I have a question about something that was stored in there though. When we were in there taking the boxes of books out, there was something in some kind of a bucket and it appeared to have leaked or something and was actually stuck to the floor. We couldn't lift it.
Well,
Um,
I don't know.
Somebody got it loose.
I guess,
It's not in there. Well,
drive an excavator in there.
It was like it had become glued to the floor.
Alright,
That's gone.
motion for adjournment.
make a motion to adjourn at 7:12.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, that's it.
Okay, now what about